The Urban Suite with Dr. Lisa Lacan. Let's talk about urban issues plaguing our community. Let's talk about mental health. Let's talk about sex.
Hello, my urbanites. Hello, welcome into the Urban Suite with me, Dr. Lisa Lacan. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy New Year. Thank God we made it through 2023. And so far, let me tell you, 2024 is starting out to be very bumpy. But I'm telling you, we're in this together, my urbanites. We're in this together. And tonight, we are talking about issues that have come up, at least for me, which I find very near and dear to my heart. And it's talking about plagiarizing. Like, what exactly is it? So we have all of these allegations. We have allegations from presidents, Dr. Gay. We have allegations from Cat Williams, the comedian, discussing, people copying his material, from Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer. I mean, even Don Lemon is coming out and saying that people are liars. And I mean, man, 2024, we're in it to win it, right? Oh my goodness. Hi, Zach. Oh, shout out to Zach. What's happening, Zach? Yes. Welcome into the Urban Suite. You are officially an urbanite. I wish I had my bell. I have to get a bell, you guys. Ding! Welcome, welcome, welcome. So listen, we're going to talk about plagiarizing, exactly what it is. And Zach, I'm so glad you're on, because this is really going to affect you as a student in academia. What does it mean? So we're going to talk about it, as well as some other issues tonight in the Urban Suite when we return. We'll be right back. Stick with us. Cyberbullying. Oh, we got into that again with Tasha K. It's gossip, bitch. And they loop it over and over and over again to play with our psyche. It's gossip, bitch. Man, the media is something else. There are so many trolls out there. Some people you have to block. That is just incredible for me. Like, oh my gosh, why do I have to be this color? Isn't that demonic when you think about it?
Oh my God.
Listen, this stuff is real. It's very demonic. Hello, God is real. Yes.
No, really, that's the God's truth.
His name is Dr. Colin Titty. Oh no, I think it's Tidy. Oh Lord. Oh, my bad. Said, listen. Listen. I'm telling you, listen. Man, listen.
What did you say?
Pardon?
I'm telling you, listen.
You listen to me because you love me.
So anyway, listen. Pay attention. Wake up.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.
Listen. I hear stories. This stuff is real.
It's real.
Are you certain? I know the answer. You already lost. Are you certain she said that? He said, yes, mommy, you already lost. That is a lie. That is a lie. Oh, someone like you, you're very articulate, Kay. Should I not be intelligent? My head has been in the sand my entire life. And it's a awesome dynamic that happens.
Whoa, that's fire.
So I don't know.
Oh my God.
right, so we are back with our missing person segment, and I do this segment every time I do a live, and tonight is no exception. So who do we have? We have Cody Richardson. Cody has been missing since January the 5th, 2024. Now, what is tonight? The 9th, all right? So he's missing since January the 5th, 2024 from Baltimore, Maryland. Listen, my Be More people, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to share this information because Cody is only 11 years old. He is a male. His race is Black. His complexion is medium. His height, he's 5 foot. He's 95 pounds. His hair color is black. His hair length is short. And his eye color is brown. Listen to this. Cody was last seen on January the 5th, 2024 in the Franklin area. I have no idea where that is, but if you know where the Franklin area is, please share this information with your friends, your family, your loved one, the community at approximately 9:45 a.m. And the circumstances surrounding his disappearance is unknown. He's still missing. It is January the 9th. He has been missing since January the 5th. And anyone with information, please contact the Baltimore Police Department, and their telephone number is area code 410-307-2020, which is 2020. I'm going to repeat that for my Spotify, my iHeartRadio, my Amazon. I'm new on the Samsung podcast. I had no idea they had podcasts, but Urban Tunes for Change is on there. So listen, the telephone number is area code 410-307-2020, or you can get in contact with the Black and Missing Foundation Incorporated, which is BAMFI, and their telephone number is 877-97-BAMFI, which actually translates into 22634. Again, that telephone number is 877-97-BAMFI, and that translates to 22634. Listen, Cody is someone's loved one. He's someone's child, perhaps a sibling. He's 11 years old. Let's bring Cody home. All right. So it's interesting because so much has happened, and we're only in the 9th day of the year. Happy New Year. Thank you, Raquel. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to Felicia and Oh, Happy New Year, my cousin. Yes, Happy New Year. Yes, yes, yes. Miss Cooper. Yes, everyone, all of my Urbanites. Thank you, thank you, thank you for tuning in. Thank you so very much. Listen, over the weekend, I had the opportunity to do a lot of things. You know, I relocated to Virginia. I'm now in the 757. So my backdrop is a little different. So I spent the holiday, my husband and I spent the holiday at my mom and dad's house. And, you know, my mom and dad, they're in their 80s. So I just felt really it was time for me to kind of come back home and to kind of oversee and help my sister with my parents because they are aging. So, you know, we went to a memorial service because a family member had passed. And someone actually said, Lisa, you know, thank you for what you're doing. I love your show. And you just never know who's looking and watching. And I think you all, getting ready to start crying, but I'm not going to do that tonight. But I just want to say thank you all so very much. We have 15 15,000 subscribers on YouTube. I think it's like 15,800 subscribers. And I just want to say thank you for getting the word out and everything. I know the work that I do when it comes to mental health, it really isn't as glamorous as gossip. It really isn't as salacious as the gossip mongerers. So, someone is always, that's correct. Someone is always watching. Yes, you are so right, Felicia. Someone is always watching. So I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so getting into tonight's topic. Oh my gosh, let me tell you. My head, not literally, is getting ready to explode, but so much has happened. I would have to say from November to now, so much has happened with the P. Diddy and Cassie, that whole thing, TD Jakes, and you just saw in the clip, he was like, wake up, wake up, wake up. Just so much has happened. But what has really made me think about this topic is because we are in an AI and artificial intelligence generation right now and social media. So 2 things. Number one, Dr. Claudine Gay, she was the president of Harvard. And I'm not going to go into the weeds of everything, but make a long story short, she is no longer the president because they found out a technicality that she was plagiarizing. And then also Cat Williams on his interview in the Shay Shay, whatever thing he did with Shannon Sharp. I think that's his name. Anyway.
Shannon Sharp, Club Shay Shay.
Yes, Club Shay Shay, yes. So very good interview. But the thing that I got from it was the amount of plagiarizing that we do as a society. And it seems as if it's really accepted. So we're going to talk about, what exactly is it? Is it harmful? And why do people engage in this thing that we call plagiarizing or plagiarism or whatever you want to call it? So let's bring up the definition of what it is. Now, this is according to Oxford Dictionary. So I made reference to where I got it from. And it's the practice, the practice of taking someone else's work or ideas and passing them off as one's own. And then this is interesting. The next one from the National Institute of Health, NIH, this is how they define plagiarism. The term plagiarism originates from listen to this, my Spotify people, because you can't see me, my iHeartRadio, Amazon, all of my audio podcast people, I need you to listen to this, especially if you are a student. This is important. This could make or break you. This is important. It's a term that originated from the Latin word plagium, which means kidnapping. Kidnapping. Thus, plagiarism is a serious crime, especially in modern society, with its emphasis on ideas and creativity. So basically, what it is the person steals from someone else and they take that, whatever it is, and they claim it as their own. Cheating is cheating. Why would she do that? I don't know why she did it, but I do have 5 reasons why people may engage in this act. Now, it's so interesting because I spoke with a friend of mine who teaches at a very, I would say, prestigious university. And she was telling me that students now, and I need you, my students, if you're in academia, I need you to really listen to this because this is a very serious offense, plagiarizing. If you do this and you are caught, you can get expelled from school and it will go on your record. And now with social media and the different tools, the software tools that they have to identify if you are using someone else's material, trust me, they use this stuff. They use it. So again, the definition, we saw the definition. So why did she do it? Why do people do it? I don't know. It could mean a couple of things, but number one, and this is according to Chat GPT, not all of them. I have my own. Chat GPT gave me 4 and I had one more. So number one, lack of time management. Lack of time management. How many of us procrastinate? And you say, okay, well, I have 5 more days to do this. And then that day creeps up, and then you wake up, and guess what? Your due date is there. You didn't time manage anything. You didn't think it was a pressing issue, and you waited till the last minute. So oftentimes when you wait until the last minute to do these things, you're not going to come in with your own fresh ideas because you're panicking. Because at this point, what is driving you, and we talk about this in the Urban Suite, is fear. Fear of not getting it accomplished when you need to get it accomplished because you did not manage your time wisely. So what do you do? What do you do when you fear not managing your time? You fear that deadline is looming. You take the easy route out and you look up and you copy someone else's work and you present it as your own. All right, so reason number 2, fear of failure. You may really believe that you aren't equipped to deliver what you have been tasked to do. So, for example, if someone says, I need a 10-page paper, and that's not including the citations or anything like that, your references, 10 pages, and you've never done 10 pages in your life, you're like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do these 10 pages? It's fear that you are not able to accomplish your assigned task. And based on that fear, what do? You get someone else's material and you claim it as your own. So, number 1, lack of time management. Number 2, fear of failure. And number 3, you lack the necessary skills to do so. This is more than just a fear. This is you aren't really equipped to do it. But you put yourself out there to say, okay, I can do this. But you know that you don't have the skill set to do it. You know that you don't have the knowledge base to do it. And then what do you do as a result? You get it from someone else that has been tested. You get it from someone else where it has been published, and you copy the material. So number 1, lack of time management. Number 2, fear of failure. Number 3, lack necessary skills. And number 4 is ignorant of the academic integrity. It really is about integrity. And if you are ignorant of the consequences, ignorant of the standard that your school, ignorant of the standard that your industry has, and you engage in this act. Listen, the difference between manslaughter and murder is what?
Intention.
But at the end of the day, what is the final result?
ignorance is no excuse, though, right? Like that's not an excuse.
Exactly. Manslaughter it's not premeditated. The bottom line is with murder or manslaughter, unfortunately, there's a body that is unalived. So you may not intend for it to be that, because say, for instance, you may forget a quote, you may forget a site, fine, and then someone may catch it. But if you take word for word a sentence or two or three, and you do not give credit where credit is due, and you pass it off as yours, that is cheating in a sense. It's cheating. And you have to understand the consequences. So I know in college, this is many years ago, there's a class that, they kind of teach you these things. And if you don't know, because the internet is so full of information, you can get this information off the internet. So you have to understand the academic integrity and what that means. And with that, I want to show you what I have.
Now, are you saying that like they're just like ignorant of the rules, like they didn't know the
yes,
rules, like that?
Right, ignorant of the rules because they don't know.
But that's like not an excuse, though, right? That's still
it's not an excuse, right? It's not an excuse because you have, and I'm going to show you what I have, what I use. I use the APA. This is the 7th edition. And this tells you all about citations. So if you are in the academia world, you have to have, this is sort of like our Bible. You have to have this in order to properly cite works, because if you don't cite works correctly, it will be returned to you. If you don't cite works correctly, it will be flagged that this is not yours. So I have the 5th edition, and then I have the 7th edition. So basically, when Dr. Gay wrote her works, the editions were out because this manual came out in 1952. So basically, I'm almost certain that she was aware of, certain things in terms of citation, but it's just unfortunate. And the last one is the one that I think people engage in plagiarizing because I think they believe that they're not going to get caught. I think people believe that they are above the law. I think people believe that they're smarter, more wiser than the tools. I think people believe that the software doesn't exist, or if it does exist, maybe your institution doesn't utilize it. No, you're going to get caught, especially now in this day and age. And it's really interesting because with Dr. Gay, they went back to the 90s, like 1997. I'm like, oh my gosh. Now, there's a company that a lot of institutions use. It's called Turnitin. So what they do is you put the paper through Turnitin. Turnitin was founded in 1998, a year after. So basically, there were standards back in 1997 that should have, applied to her back then. But as I was sharing with my producer earlier today, because you have all of these additions, you have to it's up to you to find out the edition that either the publication is using or your institution. So for me, when I went through my program, they were, I think it was the 6th through the 7th. So they give you a little flexibility if you're doing right in the interim of that change. But I just did the 7th, and the 7th was honored. I could not do the 5th edition because the 5th Proceeded the 6th, no good. No good. So you have to be aware of what edition is being used, because this is definitely the Bible. This is the Bible for citations. This book right here. So is it lying? Yes. Is it cheating? Yes. Just because people do it, does that mean it's acceptable? Absolutely not. So let's move over into the world of, like the comedians.
Entertainment.
So go ahead. Kurt,
Entertainment, yeah. Because now, but just real quick before you go into entertainment, isn't it harder now for people to cheat because they have all these programs and stuff that can look over your work like in a split second and stuff like that? They can go through the whole thing and find out if there's copies of stuff easily. Easily, because it's we got 5G and all that stuff now. So
that is correct. And these lights are so hot and I'm sweating. I'm like, oh my gosh.
They can read your whole 5,000 word document.
Absolutely.
And it's already on the computer anyway. It's already digitized. It's not like it's handwritten or typed anymore.
Right. Absolutely.
So it's easier to get caught. Although people seem like, they want to do it. They're lazier now than they were back then.
Yeah. And I think these are good reasons why people do it. Lack of time management, fear of failure, lack necessary skills, ignorant of academic integrity, and belief in not getting caught. It's either one of those five. One of those five.
Now, in entertainment,
and it could be a combination of both. Cat is the king. Let me tell you, I got to put my because my face this is hot in this room.
Now, do you think some of the same reasons apply for entertainers and stuff? Because now again, in entertainment, they say copying is the strongest form of flattery, though.
No, it's not.
That's what they say. That's a saying, isn't it? You heard that saying before.
That's the person that does the copying.
But you've heard that saying before, though.
Oh, absolutely. So this is why, okay. So if you look at the BMI logo, right? I had it registered trademark because it's our property, intellectual property. Okay. So you can get things trademarked, registered trademark, or you can get things like, copyright. So copyright, you can get songs, poems, acts, different type of scenarios. You can actually kind of get a copyright for that. So in the world of entertainment, and this is why when we say entertainment, even when we did our show, when we use someone else's music, we have to get what? Permission, or else we get a hit. So the music that I use for the show by Molly Rose, I asked for her permission because her music is out there on Spotify and whatever. So I sought her permission and she said yes. Now, if I were to use that without her permission and then become monetized as a result of collectively, in a sense, using her music to gain followers, to gain subscribers, to gain, members, if I were to do that, I would be putting my finger up at the artist, whereas the artist deserves some type of recognition. So say, for instance, the recognition that I give her is I always, her name is at the end, or I talk about her. I do what I can do, within my sphere. However, if someone took information from me, you know what? Let me tell you what happened, Chris.
What's that?
All right. I didn't tell you this. So, I did Sunshine's in the Shadow, seasonal affective disorder, right? So this woman through LinkedIn, she engaged me and asked me, would I like to be a guest on her show to do this topic? So I said, fine. She sent me an email. And I emailed her back, and she was supposed to send me another email, and I didn't hear from her. at all. So I was like, when I didn't hear from her. So I just, left it alone because I'm at a point where I don't need to be on her show. And that's not to say one thing or the other. I'm just not, if it is fine, if not fine, whatever. So then I go to the LinkedIn and I see that she has the show, but she has another guest on there and she's doing the same topic, which anyone can do that topic, but her title was similar to mine. And I'm like, okay.
It's flattery. That should be flattering you.
Well, yes. And I unconnected her too with LinkedIn. Because I thought, to me, it's not that she did it, but don't ghost me. Don't invite me and then ghost me and then use a similar title for your show with a different guest.
Oof.
I would have respected you more if you would have said, you know what, we're going in a different direction. Thank you. If something comes up, think about you, or, perhaps if you are interested in having me on the show. That's what I would have expected, and that's what I would have done. But I don't like being ghosted, especially when, you approach me.
Yeah. Well,
so she used the whole thing, and I had my points and she had 6 points. It was like,
well, I mean, hey, that she was copying you. So in a way you should be flattered, right?
Well, yeah.
Because it's like, at least you were doing the right thing and somebody else is copying it.
Well, yes and no. It depends on what they're copying. But even with like comedians and stuff.
Yeah, comedians.
It's sort of like, okay, if I say 10 men walked in the room and one sat down on the sofa. All right. So then 5 years later, another comedian says 10 men walked in the room and one man sat on the sofa. And the joke is really the same thing. Yeah. But then this is the kicker. The non-originator has more prestige than the originator because the non-originator never gave the originator credit.
Yeah, because in comedy, how do you do that? They're not going to be citing people. They're not going to have citations.
Yeah, no, they're not.
I got this joke because a lot of these comedians, they other people are writing their stuff anyway. You know what I mean? So the stuff that's coming out their mouth is not theirs anyway.
Right.
A lot of times they got teams and people that are working with them. So maybe they feel like it's just the recitation of the joke that's the funny part, because they know that their friend Phil that just made this joke up and told it to them, if he got up on stage, he would bomb saying the same jokes. So they feel like it's the personality that makes the joke over, not the joke itself. Well,
it doesn't matter because the joke is the joke and it's the wording, So it's the wording. So if Steve Harvey said pretty much the exact same thing as Cat Williams 10 years later, like in this day and age, they came out with receipts from the 1930s. I'm like, what? The receipts are just rolling out. So now comedians, because this has been really exposed, comedians are going to be extra cautious because now with social media, everybody is a researcher.
Yeah. And everything's forever. If it's on video, then somebody's going to find it.
Somebody's going to find it.
Yeah, but back in the day, you wouldn't do that. Like you wouldn't be able to go through every comedy routine and find somebody saying something.
Yeah.
But in like what we were saying earlier, in Hollywood, that's kind of normal. Like talk about the Friends and the Living Single situation.
So if you look at Living Single and Friends actually mimicked Living Single. So what they did, they had the friends, they were in the apartment, every single thing pretty much, in terms of the dynamics of who the people were. And then also the actors of Living Single, they say, oh yeah, they copied, pretty much everything.
Yeah, but costumes and everything.
Right, but this is the kicker. Friends, their earnings per episode was far greater than Living Single. Now, you could say because the amount of people that watched friends as opposed to living single was different. So they may have had different advertisers versus the living single advertisers, because we know at the end of the day, it's about who's advertising during your show. So say, for instance, if Friends had, Tide or Procter and Gamble, and then living single, they may not have had Procter and Gamble. They may have had, what's that thing that the General Insurance?
Oh, the General, yeah. But they were copying this whole show ideas, like the idea that they would have for a show. The same idea would be right on Friends the next week for a totally different audience. But it was the same scenario: a group of single friends, living together and having,
But I think, was it part of the same studio that produced it? So if
no, I think it was a different studio, because Living Single was on one channel. I think Friends was on a totally different channel.
Living Single was, I believe, on Fox. I was going to say 5. And Friends was on NBC.
Yeah, Channel 4. That's up here as Channel 4. NBC.
Right. That's why I didn't want to say the channels, because we have people from different.
Yeah.
Because in DC, NBC is 4.
Yeah. So
we don't have a Channel 2. Our CBS is Channel 9.
So what would Friends say? Is it that our delivery of the material was much better, that's why we earned more money?
Well, they probably would, and they would probably say that we had more people watching and tuned in based on the Nielsen ratings.
But it's the same thing with a small comedian versus a big comedian.
There you go.
Steve Harvey going to some little, comedy club in Savannah, Georgia somewhere, and see some one-time comedian say a good joke. Ain't nobody ever gonna see that dude again.
Exactly. So, and it's about, to me, with that, in that scenario that you just said, it really is about integrity. It really is. And a person that does that takes the joke as their own, does not have integrity. And I can tell you, this is my opinion, when it comes to Steve Harvey, I believe he lacks integrity. And this is really interesting, because the conversation that he had with Monique, he said, basically, it's not about integrity. It's about feeding my family and my children's children, and whatever come what may, whatever I have to do to get that accomplished, that's what I'm going to do. And it is playing out. And
I feel like number 5 might come into play too, though.
Belief in not getting caught. Absolutely. Like you said, that little club in Savannah, Georgia.
Yeah, who gonna ever see that guy again?
Who's gonna see that guy again? And he's like, I'm like that. And I think the fear of not getting caught, because let me ask you this. If you knew you were going to get caught, would you do it?
Of course not. Like, I don't think he would have did it. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely not.
Because look at the backlash. Like, a lot of people have come back on now and tried to, make their little stories and stuff, and everybody have it. But Steve Harvey hasn't said anything yet.
What is he going to say?
Because there's too much proof out there. What's he going to say?
What is he going to say? The best thing his team has to, and I'm telling you, I used to be a publicist. This is a publicist's dream. And I'm telling you, the publicists are getting paid right now. Damage control. Don't say anything. Just keep quiet. Now I'm questioning Steve Harvey's mustache. I'm like, I mean,
he said his hair was fake.
Yeah, a man unit. I'm like, does he have a lip unit? I mean, I don't know. I mean, the publicist was saying, don't say anything. Yeah. Don't say anything. And Kevin Hart came out and said something, and it was corny. And then,
he was on that sports show, and he was trying to.
And then Ricky Smiley came out. Now, let me tell you, Ricky Smiley. Now, I don't listen to Ricky Smiley. Mm-hmm. Ricky Smiley is like NyQuil to me. He puts me to sleep. I don't like Ricky.
Boring.
He's boring to me. So I listened to his rebuttal. He never said Cat Williams lied. Yeah. Nobody said. None of them said you a lie. Uh-huh. No one said that.
Nope.
But he sounded like, I'm telling you, like mush mouth. He was like, and then he paused for such a long time, I kid you not, Curtis, I thought my phone was broken. He was like, I'm like, Cat Williams got him stupefied. I'm like, what?
But you know what? That was Shannon Sharp's that was his biggest show. That they said that was a 3-hour interview he did with Cat Williams.
2 hours and like 50 minutes, 2 hours and 40
You know how
minutes.
many views he got on that thing?
Like 11 million. And
No, 30 million.
Oh, 30 million. Oh, good.
He got like 30 million views. It's probably going up from that now too.
Because let me tell you, I believe this year is the year of truth being exposed.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, people are fed up. Yeah. People are like, you know what? I am sick and tired of these people who look like, you know, they have it all together. They're living a lie, and enough is enough. Enough is enough, from pastors to presidents to comedians. It's like, woo. And then
and you know what?
T.D. Jakes, I'm not sure exactly what he has done.
Let's not get into that. Let's not.
No. T.D. Jakes is interesting because, you know, basically he is being alleged as a fraudulent person as well, based on his dealings with P. Diddy, going to the parties, and you know, I myself, I wouldn't go to a P. Diddy party. I know what those parties entail, you know, but he it seems like he's a regular guest. And now Kelly Price has come out, not to talk about him, but to talk about the people that were on Sunday's Best who are committing adultery. Now, these are supposed to be Christians. They're committing adultery. You know, they have relations with underage boys and girls. I mean, it's a mess.
Well, we done heard some of the stories of what's going on in the church sometimes. And sometimes the pastor be with all the people in the choir and all that stuff. But you know what was just like sort of off topic though. Naz said to us,
we had crazy storm today. My Wi-Fi is acting up.
Everybody's going in and out right now, I think. Like,
now, where are you, Naz? Are you in Florida? Naz, where are you?
I think she might have dropped off.
Oh, yeah. I think she's in Florida.
Everybody drops off and then they come back on. So I think we're having a lot of storms, and it's actually very windy out here right now too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So in Jersey.
Yeah, so I think we're having, and it's raining, and there's a lot of, and it's all the way from Florida and stuff like that.
Right. But I'm sorry I'm doing this, but it's so hot under these lights. I gotta powder my nose. But you know what? It's so interesting because the plagiarizing thing, that was one of the things that when I was doing my dissertation, I was like very like, oh my gosh. Like I read other dissertations to get the feel of it. Because all the dissertations, it's a template. You have to do section 1, section 2, section 3, blah, 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 just to get a feel. But I just, and if I could not, literally, this is what I did. If I could not articulate it and someone else did it much better than me, I use the direct quote.
Right. It's so easy to make a citation. You just put the footnote right there, put the quotes around it, and then just say exactly what
because sometimes that person that said it first just nailed it.
Right. And it actually, to me, it always kind of adds a little bit more credibility to whatever argument you're saying, because you're saying, here, somebody else said this. It's not me making all of this stuff up. Exactly. I think the citations help you.
They definitely help you. Well, that's the whole thing, because when you do your dissertation, you have to defend. It's about defending your idea. And it's about, why did you do this? Why did you choose this topic? Why did you choose this statistic?
And you got to have
why? And you have to have evidence.
Some sort of proof that backs up what you're saying. You can't just be like, oh, I believe it. Like, you can't just say, I believe this. You got to say, this person said it, and this, and I'm, because of this person said this, and that person said that. That's why I'm drawing this conclusion. I didn't just make it up out the
sky, just grabbing it and just like, So you know, we'll see. But for
Now,
my
do
students
you
who
think?
are in school,
Yeah.
definitely get the 7th edition of the APA's, the American Psychological Association publication manual. Everything you need to know about citations, it's in there. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it at your local bookstore, but you have to use this and you have to be pretty much astute in it. And if you don't know, how to use it or whatever, it has the tabs, all the tabs right there. It's very easy. As you can see, like I said, this is the 5th edition. This is this edition, the 5th edition came out, I think, back in, this came out in the 2002.
Okay.
This came out in 2002, I think. So this next edition, the 8th edition, it may reference AI.
Yeah, because like you got regular physical books there. Do people still read physical books anymore? Like, do you read?
This is like
you can have that whole book on your phone.
Well, yeah, you can, but I like the.
You gotta carry that heavy thing around nowhere.
Yeah, but I like it. Like this.
Now, do you think with the students nowadays, do you think that the AI is gonna like allow them to, I don't want to say cheat, but like allow them, is that what it is, cheating? Like, is that like, when you're using the AI to help you write a paper, is that okay? Is that okay?
I don't know. It depends on the professor. It depends on the institution. You can glean some ideas. Like, say, for instance, those the reasons why people engage in plagiarizing.
Yeah.
So you can get those points, but you have to elaborate. You need to elaborate on that when you're writing your paper.
Nah, but you can tell the AI to write you a whole paper though. Like,
well, yeah, you can. And I think there's software to determine if it is AI generated.
Because like you say, write me a paper in the style of, Professor such and such or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're just going to go through all the different, they condense all the information like they did with that about plagiarism, condense all the ideas down, and they give you the top ones. So
right.
isn't that just helping you a little bit though? Like, isn't that just a better thing?
Well, it depends. It may not help you when it comes to being creative, the creative process.
That's one thing, but because put like this, instead of having to waste your time going through 100 books and finding stuff that you didn't need, it's just getting you straight to the stuff that you do need.
That is true. That is true.
Not wasting your time. Like, remember all the books you had to go through, read through all the library, a whole bunch of stuff you didn't even need.
Well, for me,
you had to waste your time doing it.
With my dissertation, every school has a library. So you go, you go in your portal, and so you don't have to really physically go in the library anymore because every school has the library online.
Okay, yeah.
So you go in your portal, and they have all of these journal articles. Everything in the library they have, like everything. So they have all these articles and stuff like that. So you in your search engine, you want to search, like my dissertation was rehab counseling students' attitudes towards sex offenders with mental illnesses. So in my search engine, what I did was I researched rehab counseling. I searched rehab counseling students. I searched sex offenders, mental illnesses, and then combine them. And then what came up is basically some people did their dissertation or papers, they were published, and they talked about nurses' attitudes towards sex offenders, or police attitudes towards sex offenders. And then one was even nurses in the Caribbean's attitudes toward, like, it was you do all that. But the wonderful thing is when you're doing it that way, you understand who these authors are. Whereas now, if you're interested in reaching out to them, because they always have their information available, you can reach out to them, you can connect with them. It makes you more of a connected person to the author. Whereas, the other way to do it is to sidetrack that. You're not familiar with the writing style of that person. You're not really familiar with, that person in a sense, because when you do your dissertation, because you have to defend, you have to know what you're writing.
Yeah, true. You have to know all that, the information. But knowing what you know, oh my God, why is that so loud? But wow. But knowing what you know now, though, like, wouldn't it be, if you were doing a paper about any idea, any subject or something like that, right? Wouldn't you use like a ChatGPT to like kind of gather research for you and stuff like that, and just because it would just make your time, it would save you so much time, though. Like, and you wouldn't have to waste a lot of time.
It depends. If it's an academic paper, like say for instance, if I'm looking to publish something,
okay,
but
it can still get through the research and stuff. Go to ChatGPT, like, get me all the research regarding this, and that, and then that's when it brings you back. Like, you don't have to waste your time reading through it and just come up with some ideas. Like, give me an idea.
I would use it to get the articles, but I would want to read the articles. I would have to read the articles, and not to say I would read the articles in depth. I would just kind of skim over it, glean what is appropriate for me, because some of the articles, it doesn't relate, but there are some things that may relate. Like, say for instance, if you read an article and they say basically that this study can be replicated, well, that's a good idea, and they strongly encourage for you to replicate the study. But had I gone to Chat GPT, I may not get that. Like, I could miss all of that.
Yeah. But like, I think in 20 years though, like, it's gonna be a little bit different, because
absolutely,
because even like they're finding out that the AI that they're using with doctor exams and stuff like that, they're better at diagnosing people than the doctor. You know what I mean? Because they can really look infinitesimally at every little ailment that ever affected you and stuff like that, and they know all the background of how these things interchange. Whereas a person having to think about that and combine and crunch all that data, they can't really do it that fast.
Well, the key thing is, however it is written, you have to orally deliver it and know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because if you get up there and your defense, because you're defending,
you don't know enough about it. Yeah.
You don't know. And I've heard stories about that. I've heard stories that people get up there in their defense and they ask you all these questions, and they're like, I don't know. They're like,
they know the main points, but they don't know the counters to those points. They don't. But also too, like, all right, if you're a person that like knows how to do coding and all that stuff, why, like, in 10, 20 years, are you really gonna have to know all that anymore? Because the ChatGPT could do it for you. Like, the ChatGPT could develop a same kind of program that you could take you 50 hours to do that. Just tell ChatGPT to do. Like, is that cheating?
Well, we know AI is going to eliminate industries, eliminate a lot of stuff. We just have to be prepared.
Because it's also going to create, though. It's also going to create new jobs, though. Because like all these AI influencers and all this other stuff, and it's gonna, like I said, when I went to that AI conference, they said a new major is text prompt engineer. So it's like, so it's gonna create a new job where your job is just to be able to talk to the computer. That's the job. You don't have to know how to code anything or whatever. I'm a professional at talking to the computer and getting it to do what I want it to do.
Right. Well, you know what? Next week, I'm going to give you all a little taste of, we have a new pet.
Uh-oh. It's a snake?
No, his name is Astro. His name is Astro. And I'll show you all next week who Astro is.
It's a mouse?
You'll see.
It's an armadillo. It's a goldfish.
So listen, we're running out. I said 45 minutes, no more than 45 minutes. We're here for an hour. Oh my goodness. So listen, let's bring up those 5 reasons why.
1 second, we get back up to the top.
Yep.
Right here.
All right. So lack of time management, fear of failure, lack necessary skills, ignorant of academic integrity, and belief in not getting caught, which I think is the most important thing. I think if someone knew that they were going to get found out, if they were going to get caught, they wouldn't do it. So that's the thing. So my urbanites, until next week, I'm so glad to be back in the Urban Suite. I'm going to try to come on a little bit more, just like in and out throughout the week, maybe on Saturday. I don't know. But thank you for entering into the Urban Suite. And I need you to like, I need you to share. And next week, I'm going to talk about really becoming a member of Urban Tools for Change. And the donations that you will contribute to this station will go to Bless Ministries Incorporated, our sponsoring agency, the premier workforce development agency in the state of New Jersey. We put people to work, and it's because of the donations that we have. Thank you. We received a donation this morning of $500. We're in the process of getting ready for our 25th, listen to that, 25th year anniversary. Oh my goodness. We're in the process of having a fun. What'd you say?
You need your bell.
I know. I'm going to get my bell this week, and next week I will have a bell in Urban Suite. I missed my bell.
That was a bell moment right there.
I know, right? Ding, 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 ding. All right. So, my urbanites, I want to say thank you for entering into the Urban Suite with me, Dr. Lisa Lacan, where you laugh, learn, cry, and grow. And on that note, Molly, take us away.